In today's session, we'll be exploring the various activation functions that we will be using in neural networks and deep learning. So here we have a few activation functions that I will show you. And basically what you're going to see are the graphs, which are quite important, and knowing the ranges of their values and how they function. So now we're going to do our basic inputs of NumPy and Matplotlib. NumPy for number transformations and getting all the exponential formulas, and Matplotlib just to plot out the charts as you have seen before. So let's get all the values in np.arrange between these set of values. From let's try to plus 5 with a period of 0.01. I'll just show you x so that you can have a get better clarity. So basically you're having values from minus 5 to plus 5, okay, with a period of 0.01. So for every 0.01, there's an increment between minus 5 and plus 5. So that is what NumPy.arrange does. And we are going to define a function which is going to plot your given function. You pass the sigmoid activation function to this one, which you see here, right? You have to give the plot of a sigmoid activation function. So let us just get into the activation functions first. So the first one is binary step activation function, and its function definition is somewhat like this. Okay, so it will be like a step. If you look at the plot, this is how it looks like. If it is less than or equal to 0, it lies here. If it is 1, it lies here. If it is greater than 0, it lies here. So as the name says, this is the binary step activation function, whose values are either 0 or 1. So now let's get into a piecewise linear activation function. So in this thing, you'll be given two thresholds, which is x minimum value, and x maximum value. So y, or let's say f of x, is equal to 0 if x is less than x min, is equal to mx plus b, which is nothing but the equation of a line, if you can recollect. Okay, where if x lies between the minimum and maximum values, and it is equal to 1 if x is greater than maximum value. So similarly, the derivative of this, derivative of 0 is 0, derivative d by dx of mx plus b is equal to m, and d by dx of 1 is equal to 0. So this is what the derivative values are. So let us just define this activation function by this. So there is a definition of this activation function. So you can also import the activation function by using from keras.activations import any activation function's name. So here we are just defining the function from the scratch so as to get a clear idea as to what is happening. And here it is just plot out the graph. Now can you see this? So this one is between minus 0.4 to plus 0.4 x min and x max. So what it actually is it is between x max is 3 and x min is minus 3. And that we have implemented this function where m is equal to 1.6. This is just our values. Okay, basically we are just trying to re-implement this one, and b is equal to half, and we are plotting this one here. So if it is lesser than minus 3, it is here, and if it's greater between minus 3 and plus 3, and you can see a line here because mx plus b is the equation of a line, and it is 0 or 1 in the other ranges. The next one, let's go to bipolar activation function. So this is the bipolar activation function. Bipolar, as the name says, other opposite ends of the polar spectrum, which in this case is nothing but minus 1 and plus 1. So till now it's pretty simple, the activation functions. So basically activation functions are used to make the neuron more active. That means activates the neurons for performing the forward and back propagation. I mean basically the learning task of a neural network. So it is just used to compute transformations between the layers. Data comes here, is transformed first time, is transformed second time, and by the third transformation you have the outputs. And as you said, for this binary task, it is used a binary step activation function, whose outputs are 0 and 1. So and this, let's use ReLU. ReLU. Okay. So ReLU activation functions graph looks somewhat like this. like this, right? So we'll come to that. So it's a rectified linear activation function. So its range is between from 0 comma infinity. Hence I've chosen this one. And this one is binary step activation function. Let's say uh, like this followed by like this, right? So let us use this activation function to compute the outputs. Why computing outputs with binary step? Because the output is 2. It either 0 or 1 here. So two classes, hence we are using binary step. If it's three classes, we can use another activation like let's say softmax, tanh, or even relu. Relu is also good in this case. So now is it a bit clear as to the role of activation function? Okay, now let's get back into this one. So binary step is done, piecewise linear is done, bipolar is done. Now let's get into sigmoid activation function. So sigmoid activation function's formula is 1 by 1 plus e power minus x. This is the differentiation of that formula. It is that since representing it in this way is too complicated in this case, I have just made it like f of x into 1 minus f of x as a differential of 1 by 1 plus e power minus x. So I'll just define the equation using the numpy exponential function and then plot the sigmoid activation function. Yeah. So as you can see, the value ranges between 0 comma plus 1. And now this is a bipolar sigmoid activation function. Though it's not used quite frequently, I decided to just cover it off because we are touching sigmoid also. It'd be good to know that there's another implementation of the sigmoid activation function. So as you can see, the formula is pretty straightforward. 1 minus e power minus x divided by 1 plus e power minus x. And the differential of this is 2 e power x divided by e power x plus 1 the whole square. So let's just define it using this. 1 minus e power minus x divided by 1 plus e power minus x and plot it out here. So bipolar sigmoid, as the name says, it's between minus 1 comma plus 1. So now let's move on to the hyperbolic activation function. So this one is tanh activation function. If you can see here, we had previously explored tanh in a notebook. So same thing, this is the formula for that. 2 divided by 1 plus e power minus 2x minus 1. And the differential of which is 1 minus f of x the whole square. Just define the function and print a plot for it. Yeah, this is the tanh activation function. So minus 1, 0, plus 1. So these are the range of values between minus 1 comma plus 1. So this one is a tanh activation function. So where I have used tanh is mostly in between the layers of a neural network, as you can see here. Instead of ReLU, you can also use tanh. It's well and good in this case. But output layer is, I suggest that you be a bit careful as to how many neurons are there, and depending on how many neurons, you can decide which activation function to apply at the final layer. So now let's get into the arctangent tan. Arctangent is nothing but the inverse of tan x. That's it. We call an inverse of tan x as arctan and plot the activation function here. So don't get confused between the graphs of hyperbolic tan and arctan. Arctan's values are slightly a bit away from minus 1 and plus 1. Next one, let's get into the rectified linear activation function. So it will basically look like this. As x increases, y increases. And if it is lesser than 0 or equal to 0, it is nothing but 0 here. So this is the rectified linear activation function. But here, remember, we had decided to use this here. The ReLU activation function. So this is leaky ReLU. So it's important that you have an idea of the range of values here. So it is between, as you can see here, between 0 and infinity, right? So these are the ranges of values of a ReLU activation function. I'd highly recommend for you to keep this graph in mind because you'll be using ReLU activation functions a lot when you are working with neural networks. Okay, so let's get into the small implementation of a ReLU activation function, which is the leaky ReLU activation function. So this is the function definition for leaky ReLU. Keep in mind that if x is less than 0, you will plot ax, and same way for x greater than 0, you plot x. But one point to be kept in mind is that the value of a, right? The value of a is always between 0 and 1. So that is one catch in the leaky ReLU activation function. So I will just define the function here and plot it out. Yeah. Now can you see this? So a is kept less than x. Hence it is moving away from the y-axis. If you can look at this, that's why, because here we have used the value 0.1, but you can use the value 0.5 also. But keep in mind that the value of a has to be below 1 and above 0. So this is the leaky ReLU activation function. But to be honest, I personally didn't have a requirement to use this activation function in any of my neural network building tasks. So ReLU you'll be working with a lot. ReLU, tanh, sigmoid activation function, and binary step also. So let's move on to exponential linear units. So this is just a formula-based activation function. So we'll be using a bit of exponentials to define the negative x-axis and just x, like how you are seen here, right? For defining the positive x-axis. So this one also I'll just plot off. Basically, this is y is equal to x and y is equal to a into e power x minus 1, where a lies between 0 and 1. So this is an exponential value. Hence, the graph looks like this. Okay, next one is soft plus activation function. So this one is really similar to that of this one's actually the derivative is really similar to that of the sigmoid activation function, but its actual formula is natural log of 1 plus e power x. Just define this. Let's define the activation function and plot the soft plus activation function. So what you see here is the soft plus activation function, whose formula is nothing but natural log. Yes, so here also you won't be using much of this activation function. So I just wanted to show you the different activation functions that are out there in the world of neural networks.